So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Simply Carolyn. Tonight I am going to be mixing up a chocolate cake for Christmas, and I'm going to show you how I put it all together. This recipe is from one of my good YouTube friends, Soulful Tea. She's on YouTube. She may be on Facebook, but I'm not sure. I don't know what her channel name is on Facebook, if she's on Facebook. But anyway, this is a chocolate cake with buttercream icing, and it's all going to be homemade. So I'm going to tell you what my ingredients are. We're going to mix all of our dry ingredients first, and then we're going to mix the wet ingredients, combine them, and go ahead and get our cake in the oven. And that reminds me, let me go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 and make sure there's nothing in. Oops. Y'all hold a moment. The oven is full. My mother did that, I'm sure. All right, y'all, I'm back, and I lied. Let me correct myself. It was not my mother that had those pots in there. I did that because yesterday I had Stanley Steamer to come out and clean my marble tile floors for me. So some things that I had sitting on the side over there, I had to move it all, get it out of the way. So I stuck it in the oven. I forgot. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get started. All right. Y'all bear with me. And I'm going to tell you, trying to get where this top light don't be so bright. All right, so I'm going to give you the list of ingredients here before we get started. Again, we're going to mix all of our dry ingredients, and then we're going to mix our wet. So, and I will link the ingredients down in my description box below. But if you want to take note while I'm giving them out, we are going to use 2.5 cups of Swan Don's cake flour, 2.5 cups, and we will also use a 1/2 cup of Hershey's cocoa. Now, the person that I got the recipe from, she used the dark chocolate. I don't have dark chocolate. I have just the regular, what is it? It's just regular cocoa. You can use either or. It doesn't really matter. So I just used what I had on hand. So a 1/2 cup of cocoa. And also 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And 2 cups of sugar. Now, those things I already have here in my bowl, my mixing bowl, and I'll show you in just a moment. And also we're going to use 1 box of chocolate pudding. This is a small box. It's a 3.9 ounce box. It's the instant Jello pudding, chocolate. It just makes your cake more moist. Sorry, y'all, my lighting is flipping again on me. But let me get this open and put that in it, and I'll show you everything that I have in here. So how y'all doing today? I hope good. Christmas is day after tomorrow, right around the corner. So I'm trying to get this little bit of baking that I'm doing out of the way, so when I get ready to do my actual Christmas dinner, it's all out of the way, and all I have to do is just cook my regular food. So give me a minute, and I'm going to turn this camera around, and I'm going to let you see everything that I have in here. Y'all bear with me. All right, so everything that I told you, all of the dry ingredients, they're in here. And what we're going to do is just kind of take your spoon or your spatula, whatever you use, just kind of combine them together. So for our wet ingredients, we have 3 eggs. I have already cracked them and put them in this bowl. And I've also added a teaspoon of the Watkins vanilla. It's the pure vanilla. I have already added that. It's 1 tablespoon. And to that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Okay. And also 1 cup of buttermilk. So we're going to add that in. That's all of our wet ingredients. Now, what I'm going to do is whisk these wet ingredients together. I'm going to whisk them up real good because we're going to put them together in the bowl with the dry ingredients, and then we're going to start mixing. All right, y'all. So I have my wet ingredients mixed, and I'm going to warm a cup of hot water because that's our last ingredient that we're going to actually put into this before we get it in the oven. So let me go ahead and lower this. It may be a little loud for a little bit, y'all, but y'all bear with me. All right, y'all, I'm stopping it so that I can scrape down the sides of this. You always have to scrape down the sides of your bowl, because if you don't, you're going to have clumps of dry patches in the middle, and you don't want that. Definitely not. Now, she baked hers in a sheet pan. I'm going to be baking mine in my regular cake pan. My water is boiling, so let me turn that off and get that poured in here. Now, this is the first time I've ever seen a cake where you add boiling water, but this is what she did. Hers came out beautiful, so I'm following what she did. So I measured out a cup of hot water, and I brought it to a boil. And again, this was the last ingredient that she had put in hers, so I'm doing the same thing that she did. Let me just get this off my spatula. We're going to finish mixing this, because you have to make sure that all of your ingredients are mixed well together. Start your mixer off slow, whether you're starting with your wet or your dry, because if you don't, you're going to have a mess. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's going to splatter all over you. So All right, so you don't want to over mix it, so just, okay. Don't want to over mix it. So I'm just gonna take my whisk and just kind of give it a good stir from the bottom. Let me take this out. Then we're gonna mix up our, come on, buttercream frosting while this is baking. So y'all are in for a treat here. Just gonna stir it up a little bit. I don't want any air bubbles. And y'all, when you're cooking, when you're baking your cake, once you get it in your pan, if you just tap it on your counter, once you get your batter in your pan, that will help eliminate any air bubbles that may be in your batter. And that smells delicious. I tell you it do. Yes, so I think this is mixed enough. Ooh. All right, so let me grab my pan. I've already used my not Swan Downs, my Baker's Joy. I have my pan already greased with Baker's Joy. And this is what it looks like if you want to look for it in the store. Or you don't have to use this. You can also use, do it the old-fashioned way with oil, butter. You can either use vegetable oil with flour, or you can use butter with flour. I use that old-fashioned way sometimes, but most times if I'm following a recipe and if I have what they are saying they're using, I just try to use that. So there you have it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this in my baking pan. I'm going to just taste it, y'all. Oh my, that is delicious. All right, let's see if I can get this turned around. That's my oven. It's ready to go right on time. So go ahead and get this in my pan. And we're going to pop her in the oven, and then we're going to start on our icing. I can probably just pour this in. Yep. You also want to make sure it is even. I tell you what, my family better appreciate me. I'm diabetic. And when y'all see me making things like this, most times it's for the rest of my family. Now, I will try a small piece, but for the most part, my family, my sister, my husband, they eat the majority of it. I'm telling you, my family is so sweet mouth, it's not even real. But I'm praying, hoping and praying that one day God is going to deliver me. No, God is going to deliver me. I'm going to claim it from diabetes, where I can not only just bake stuff for my family, but enjoy it right along with them. So I trust and believe. All right. So I got all of that in there. All right. So wash that out. And like I said, you're going to just want to tap it. Give it a couple of good whacks. And then just put it in your oven. And we're going to let it bake until a toothpick comes out clean. There you have it. All right. So I'm gonna go off camera and wash my mixing bowl, and I'll be back so we can mix up our frosting buttercream. All right, y'all. This is the cake. It is done and it's cool. So now we're gonna whip up this frosting. So the frosting calls for 1 stick of butter and a half cup of Crisco, the solid, 3 cups of powdered sugar that I have measured out over here. So we're gonna go ahead and get that mixed in. So let me get y'all turned around so you can see what I'm doing here. The cake has cooled and we're gonna go ahead and get it frosted. Bear with me a moment. Okay, so what I have in here is 1 stick of melted softened butter and a half cup of Crisco. So let's go ahead and get the powdered sugar in there. Well, before we do the powdered sugar, I'm going to cream this and then we'll put the powdered sugar in, y'all. I'm tired, so bear with me. We're almost to the finishing point. All right, let's get this lowered. Okay, so we got to scrape the sides down, as you know. Get that all scraped down. And we just want to get it smooth and creamy. It's not there just yet, but almost. So we're going to run it through another time. Oops. And I got a big splat of this on my shirt. Ugh. That's what happens when you get tired. All right, let's give it another. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my powdered sugar. I've already measured it out. I have 3 cups of powdered sugar here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some of that in there. And it calls for about 2 tablespoons full of what do you call it? Milk, whole milk. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my powdered sugar in there. Might as well go ahead and put it all in here. And I think this should be enough. Like I said, she did a sheet pan. Mine is a pound cake pan, but it should be enough powdered sugar to frost on that cake. Start it off real slow, y'all. I don't want to carry this. Alright, so we got to scrape the sides as usual. And you have to be careful when you start putting in the milk, y'all, because it can cause the frosting to be too loose. You don't want it too loose and you don't want it real stiff. You want to get it just right. So you have to gradually add your milk. So I'm going to put just a tad in here just to loosen it up a bit. Oop. But that's the one thing about it. If it gets too loose, you can always add a little more powdered sugar to your mix. All right. This is my first time making it this way, but we're going to see. We're going to lower that and let's... Let me scrape the sides down again. And this is a process, so you have to be patient. Anytime you're making cakes or anything you're cooking, you have to be patient. It does not happen in the twinkling of an eye, so you have to be patient with it. So this is how it's looking. It's kind of stiff, which I want it to be stiff, but that might be a little too stiff because a lot of it is, as you can see, is still in my whisk attachment, and I need for it to be incorporated down in the bottom. So bear with me. Let me get, I'll probably have to get myself a butter knife to get it all where I need it to be. Y'all bear with me. We are almost there, I promise you. Let me grab myself a butter knife. Yeah, see, this is real thick, which I want it thick, but not that thick. So I'm gonna have to put probably just a tad more bit of milk to loosen it up or thin it out. But we're gonna see. But you know, that just goes to show you there's different ways to do to make buttercream. Some people just use the butter and the powdered sugar and milk, but there's no right or wrong way. I always tell folks, if you're following something I'm doing, if you know an easier way or a better way or a different ingredient that works well for you, then use it. You don't have to go exactly by what I use, you know. So I'm following somebody else's recipe tonight. All right, let me see if I can pour just a tad. Don't want to pour too much. Okay, let's see. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Scrape it back down some more. See, now it's not all in the whisk. Let's see. See how fluffy it is? It's not running. So that might be it. I'm gonna see, let me try it. Not bad at all. Oh, but y'all, you know what? I know I was forgetting something. I knew it. I'm glad I tasted it. I did not put vanilla. That's what is missing, the vanilla flavor. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons full of vanilla, I think. Yep, that's what she used, 2 tablespoons. So this is my 2 tablespoon measuring spoon. Get that in there, and by the time I get that incorporated, it should be ready to go ahead and put on the cake. We're going to frost it, and I will let you guys go. I appreciate you stopping by. And for the young lady that I saw tonight at Walmart, she said, "Ma'am, are you the lady that be on YouTube cooking? I mean, on Facebook cooking?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I don't know how you got in my feed, but I was saying to myself, that lady can cook." I appreciate you watching, ma'am. I forgot. I want to thank, I don't want to say her name wrong, but I thought she was related to a family around here, but she says she's not, but she really do look like them. They're beautiful people. I'm not going to put a name out there, but yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And if you're not subscribed to my channel or following me, go ahead and hit that follow button. All right, so y'all, let's go ahead. I might have to put a little more powdered sugar in here because I added liquid. You're going to see. And again, y'all, this takes time. Yeah, I'm going to have to add some more because the lady that was doing the video that I'm following, she had to end up adding a little bit more to hers once she put her vanilla in it. Because, see, it'll get loose. You see how loose that's gotten now? It'll get loose. So... that was it. That's definitely was it. It was missing the vanilla. So let me go ahead and add just the dot more of the powdered sugar to thicken it up, and then we're going to go ahead and get this cake frosted. Dry my spoon, my measuring spoon, because I already washed it out. I try to do my dishes as I go, y'all, so I don't have a whole sink full of dishes here. That sucks, to make a video and then have to go back and clean up a whole kitchen full of mess. But nevertheless, that's the world of cooking. Alright, so this is my 1/2 cup measuring cup. So I'm just going to add a 1/2 cup more because that's what she added when she needed to add more to thicken it up. And that's actually not a whole lot. Okay. Okay. So that's a 1/2 cup. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And that should be it. Okay. Oh, I have thoroughly made a mess. All right. Gotta remember, guys, to keep scraping it down, because anytime you add something dry into it, you have to mix it just a little bit more so you don't have pockets of dry material, not material, but dry ingredients in your mix. So so that should be it. We don't want lumpy frosting. All right. Okay. All right. So let me turn this around. I'm going to just frost it right here where we are. Yo, let me put my milk back in the refrigerator. Okay. All right. So, let's get this done. Alright, let me take my bowl out of my mixer. Give me a minute. So that is what the icing looks like. I'm trying to get it in the light so y'all can see. That's what it's looking like. Alright. Okay. I know y'all probably can't even see what I'm doing here. Y'all, I'm not the best when it comes to icing a cake, but we're gonna make this work. I should just be using my spatula. Okay. Had to clean it off there. Okay, so now, don't all y'all start messaging me about making cakes, because when I post these cakes, I put the recipe up here. Put it up here for a reason. I'm not a cake baker. This is just something that I do for my family. So I do put the recipe out so that if anyone else would like to try it, feel free. But by no means am I a cake maker. I just like to try different things. And I'm going to sit this in the back part of my house where it's cooler. Because buttercream, as you know, even when your cake is cool, it'll get soft. I don't want to put it in the refrigerator, but I will definitely put it back in the cooler part of the house, in the cake plate. And y'all, you can get cake plates now at Rose's. I picked up me an extra one. during this time of the year. Well, you can get them any time of the year, but they got an abundance of them now. So pick you up one just in case so you can have it. Never know when you might need it. Trying to get this little ring in the middle here. Make sure that we have icing in there. I think it turned out pretty good. Oops, I dropped some. Let's get that cleaned up. Yep, I dropped just a smidgen of it. I'm pretty proud of myself because I think it came out pretty good. Absolutely. But for me, I've always been the type of person that if I want to make something and I don't know how, first thing I'll do is go to YouTube and see, because more than likely I'm not the first person that wants to make it or have made it. I go to YouTube and get my ingredients, and then I go from there. So that's why a lot of people will do sheet cakes, because they don't want to worry about icing, or it's easier to icing. See, it's starting to loosen up a little bit more now. But I'm gonna put it in the back portion of down by my bedroom in the back. And it'll get, it'll stiffen back up some. But again, it takes patience and time. Unless you're a pro. I'm definitely not one. Just do what I can for my family. So y'all, once this holiday season is over, it will be a while before you see me do a cake, because I used to do one every weekend. But when I became a diabetic, I stopped, because I know if I make them, I'm going to want to eat them. Now, granted, I do taste the ones that I make, because you can't give people your food and not know that it's a decent product, or that it at least tastes good. I just don't believe in that. So, and as a diabetic, it's not that you can't have stuff. You have to do it in moderation and know when to stop. So if you don't have that willpower, don't even mess with it. That's just it. That's it. That's all. Don't even tempt yourself if you know you don't have the willpower to say no or not overindulge. It's just not a good thing. Hopefully I don't make this too messy. I think I did pretty good. Y'all leave me a comment and tell me how you think I did. This is my first time making this cake as well. Now, my grandmother was a very good cook and a very good baker. Everybody tell me, you took that after your grandmother. Maybe I did. I used to watch her a lot when she was in the kitchen cooking as a young girl. But if you don't watch, you're never going to learn how to cook stuff. And I tell everybody, the most important thing about cooking like regular food is your seasonings. Once you learn the seasonings that go together, or at least what you like, because I may like seasonings that you may not like. So that's why you have to that's one thing you have to figure out for yourself. what seasonings that you like and you put together. So you have to start experimenting with it. Just make little things and have your family to try it. They'll tell you, I'm sure they'll be honest and tell you whether or not they like it or if they don't. That's one thing about folk. They will tell you if something is good and they'll tell you if it's not good. So, and learn to take constructive criticism. If it's not good, again, it may be your taste, something that you like that they don't like. Everybody don't have the same palate and everybody don't have the same taste. So I respect that. I would not be mad if someone tried something I made and told me, oh, well, I don't like that. We can't all like the same things. I don't know a whole lot of people that like the same things. There may be one or two. But one thing I can tell you guys, this cake was made with love. Everything that I make, I try to make it with love. That's the main ingredient, love. That's the main component for your life, love. Love your sisters and brothers, family or not. We're all sisters and brothers in Christ. And don't forget that patience. Gotta have patience. Because this, what I'm doing now, is time consuming. I'm telling you. But you have to, when I start something, I like to finish it. I don't like to start something and stop. I guess that's my pet peeve. I know my sister gonna want a piece of this. Queenie Bennett, I already know you want a piece. She can't stand to see me make nothing. I want some, save me a piece. Ooh, how you made that? I can't do that. Yes, you can. I got the recipe there. All right, y'all, I'm almost around. I think I keep taking more off than I'm putting on. Let's see. So I didn't do too bad. At least I had enough icing to go around the cake. That was my one fear. I was like, Lord, am I going to have enough icing? Because she made hers out of a sheet pan and it didn't take a whole lot. I used her same measurement, so I guess it works either way with the amount of batter that we have, that we use for the recipe. Okay. I hate seeing a spot. And I'm not making it better. I'm just going to stop. You know what I should have done was put my mixing bowl in the freezer for a little bit, let it stiffen up. But that's okay. I'm good. We are good here. So, this concludes my video of my homemade chocolate cake with buttercream icing. And how y'all think I did? Y'all leave me a comment. Okay, this is my final product. And again, getting ready to take it back in the cooler part of my house. Let me turn my camera around so you can get a good look at it. And y'all remember, follow me here on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube as Simply Carolyn. So y'all follow me over there as well. I post videos from time to time. And I thank you for stopping by. Let me get this camera turned around and let you see what it looks like. And then I'm going to let you guys go. Okay. Well, that's my final product. I think I did pretty good for a beginner. Hey, I'm sure these people here in this house will eat it because they greedy. But I love y'all with the love of Jesus. Y'all stay safe and stay blessed. And I will see you on my next video. Good night.